Hello again, beautiful people. Welcome back. I have been in the creative mood as of late. I have a lot of free time this week, so I decided to kind of give in to that creative urge to create something outside and separate from my regular journal. So I have been a follower of Megan and the Moon over on YouTube and on Instagram. And she came out, I think, starting in January. So it's been quite some time now. But she created a separate Instagram account called Art for a Spell. And I will link everything down below, where she releases a daily prompt. Now, I have no idea how she does it, but she is killing it. Every single day, it's like a new video and a new prompt. And all of her prompts are just so easy and effortless. It's more about, it focuses more on using the products that you have in your stash and things that you have found, repurposing things, recycling, reusing, all of that good stuff. And, I have been following her for a while now, and so I've made it a routine to watch the video that she releases every day because, like I said, all of these prompts are just so effortless, and it's inspired me to dig into my stash more and just use up a lot of products that are just kind of sitting there. So she released this a reel over on Instagram. I'm not sure if she has a full-length video on this particular project, but she released a reel on how to make DIY sentiment stickers. So she used these circle sticker paper and alcohol inks and some found words, and she made these really beautiful stickers. And I really loved how they turned out, so I wanted to go ahead and create my own. So I pulled out some white label circle sticker paper and some alcohol inks. And originally, in the very first one that I made, you can kind of see it. When I try to use the alcohol ink, for some reason, I don't know if it's because of the sticker paper that I have, but the alcohol ink just kind of sunk in. And you can see it here too. Like, I put some on there, and it just absorbed into the paper and did not move. That was not the case in Megan's reel and hers. Like, it worked very well, and she was able to create these like really beautiful backgrounds using alcohol inks. But for me, I had to kind of improvise, and I channeled my inner Megan and used things that I already had in my stash. So I have a bunch of Dylusions ink sprays. I have a couple like Tim Holtz ones, and I have an abundance of fluid acrylic inks, Daler Rowney and what's that brand? Liquitex. So I pulled a whole bunch. Oh, and I even have some Jane Davenport like glass vial things. I pulled everything out and just went ham. So I didn't apply this in any particular way. There was no method to the madness. It was just playing around. Megan, she put on gloves and she used her hands, and that's exactly how I did it. I'm sure you could do it with a paintbrush if you didn't want to use if you didn't have gloves. But yeah, I had gloves, so that's what I did. Now this spray that you just saw me use here, it is just another one of the things that I've had in my stash for literal years, and I have never, ever opened it. So I had signed up for a mystery bag bundle thing from Ranger Ink, and in it came with these 2 mica sprays from Dina Wakley. And like I said, I've never used them. They were brand new in their packaging, and I figured it was time. And they're just like essentially like glitter sprays, like colored glitter spray. And I used it to try and make some of the sticker papers better. This particular one I absolutely hated when I first did it. I did not like the color combination, and so I just kept adding things in the hopes that it would look better. And I think doing this black ink here helped tone down some of the color, because I just, like I said, I don't know what I was thinking. I was not a huge fan of the color palette for that one. But yeah, I just played around. I'm using here some of those fluid acrylic inks. And this is one of those things where, I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one, but I consume a lot of creative videos over on YouTube where I just watch people make things like for hours on end. And if I like a project, if I don't have those exact same materials, I will go out and buy the exact same materials. And I'm not the kind of person that can just buy like one or two colors. I have to buy several, and then I end up with so many supplies that only get used one time. And that's the case with these fluid acrylic inks. I bought a whole bunch from Michael's when I was back in the States because for some odd reason they were clearanced out for like $1, $2 each bottle. And I had seen someone paint with them and I felt like I needed some. And I bought a whole bunch and have not been used. So yeah, I'm going to try and make more of an effort, more of a conscious effort this year to just use up the things. I have this like fear of if I destash it and get rid of it, like what if I wanted to use a new project and I need those things and I don't have them? And I need to actually use my stuff because I have too much and it's just kind of staying there. And that's one of the other reasons why I really, really love Megan's videos is because she tells it how it is and she makes it a point to use her things, and it resonates with me and I definitely appreciate that. So yeah, moving forward really quickly, here I am looking for the actual found words to add to my stickers. So I went to a thrift store on base and I purchased this beat up used old dictionary for 25 cents. And I went through and I randomly tore out 3 or 4 pages, and from there I cut out definitions that I resonated with, that stuck to me. So I cut out a whole bunch. I did the same thing with an actual novel that I had. So I realized once I was cutting out all the definitions that I couldn't really make poems out of just straight up definitions. I needed more. So I had saved the insides to a hardcover book that I had hollowed out to make an art journal out of. And I saved the insides. And it's like a children's book. What's it called? The View from Saturday, I think it is. So I had the insides and I did the same thing. I went through, randomly flipped to 3 separate pages, tore them out, and from there I cut out sentences that I felt I could make poetry with. Now in Megan's reel, I think she just used regular glue to adhere her found words onto her sticker, but I am the absolute worst at gluing things. And I mention it a lot, but it's true. I have like zero patience for things, and so I glue very quickly and I end up getting glue all over my fingers, all over whatever it is I'm working on. And then things don't get glued all the way, and so it's a hot mess. So for this particular project, I knew it was gonna be an epic fail if I tried to glue each individual sentence and in some cases words. So I whipped out my Xyron sticker maker. I think I might have mentioned it before. If I haven't, here we go. The Xyron sticker maker is one of my most used, like necessary journaling supply. I absolutely love my Xyron sticker maker. I use it to glue down my photos a day in my monthly creative journals. I also used it to, like, before I cut out tabs, I got a die cut to make, especially, I bought a die cut to make whale tabs, but before then, I used these, like, scrapbook paper tabs that I used to get from the Planner Society. And I would use that in my Xyron sticker maker, run that through, and it made it a sticker. And it's super easy to use, like you saw in that video. Like, you just run through whatever it is you want to turn into a sticker, and then once it's out, you use a bone folder or anything you have, really, to just apply pressure to make sure it sticks to the adhesive, and then voila, you have stickers. So yeah, I use it so much, I would be lost without it, and so I whipped it out for this project, and it made the gluing part super easy. Now, once I finished with everything, I realized that my sticker paper just didn't have as much visual intrigue as I would have liked. The found words and the poetry and the definitions were pretty small in comparison to the size of the sticker paper that I used, and I didn't want it to feel empty. And now I had seen a bunch of videos on YouTube about creating master boards, and one of the ones that I had seen, they used stamps to kind of just add another layer to their work. And so I did the same thing here. I pulled out a bunch of random stamps that I had in my stash. I'm using a variety of stamps from the Dollar Tree, I had a couple Dina Wakley stamps, and some of the later sheets I used Jane Davenport, and then I used some stamps from a store called Action here in Germany. It's like the Dollar General, essentially. So just like really inexpensive stamps, and I used a bunch of random wooden stamps that I had. Honestly, it doesn't really matter which ones you use. You can use anything. And I just kind of stamped all over. Now, the main inks that I used, or the main stamp pads that I used, were Distress Oxides. So I loved Distress Oxides when they first came out, and I had a straight up Pokemon moment, and I needed to have all of them. So they are the one ink pad that I have in a variety of colors. So for these backgrounds, I didn't want to stamp everything in black. I wanted to create different layers and depth for the background. So I tried to use like darker shades of the same color of the background. So like I think for the previous one, I used, what was it? Like I used like dark green and dark blue to just kind of add to it. And then I did stamp a couple images in black ink. I didn't want to do everything in black because I didn't want the images to get lost. And now this particular sheet gave me a really, really hard time because I used darker ink. So I have black, I have that dark reddish terracotta color, I have some dark brown. And so a lot of the ink pads that I have, just the images just were not showing as much as I wanted. So I remembered that I had these Brilliance pigment ink pads. I have one in white and in gold. And that's kind of what I used to have the images stick out more. And it worked, I think at the end of the day, I'm okay with how this particular spread turned out, and I think that's just part of the process. You're not going to love everything, but you are going to learn from it. So yeah, this is a Bow Bunny stamp that I got from a Tuesday Morning several years ago. I don't know if Tuesday mornings are still a thing back in the States, because when I went home this past summer, they were all closed down. So I don't know if they still exist. If they do, I used to get a lot of my mixed media stuff from there. Like all my stencils were from Tuesday Morning. But yeah, so once I'm done, I peel off the excess sticker paper. So that way I'm left with just the circle image. And that makes it easier for me to know where to place the definitions and like the found words. Yeah, this was probably mentioned it already, but like this was super easy to make. I just had so much fun playing, no stress. I got to use up supplies that I hadn't touched in forever, if at all. I got to use up some book pages from a book that was just sitting in my stash, taking up space. And I made just these really beautiful little mini pieces of art. I don't, full disclosure, know how I'm going to use these stickers once I am done, but I have them. I mean, I guess I could use them for Happy Mail and stuff. I don't art journal as much as I would like to. Maybe I could use some of that for there, or you use some of them for that. Yeah, I might end up making some journaling cards with these for my journal. But anywho, yeah, that was my DIY, or my take on the DIY sentiment prompt that Megan made over on Art for a Spell. Like I said, I'm going to link all her stuff. Be sure to check her out because, like I said, every single day it's just something new. And I honestly don't know how she does it. It's just amazing the things that she comes up with. And I just love how she creates because you can just tell like she enjoys it. But yeah, so that is, like I said, that is it. Oh, last thing, I realized that I did end up making all of the sticker paper that I had showed. I realized that I didn't have enough found words, so I also used some Tim Holtz stickers. Tim Holtz comes out with those like phrases. Those are also really good for this too, especially if you, one, don't want to go out and buy a book to cut up, or two, if you don't like gluing things like me. It's perfect because it's already a sticker. Anywho, with that, I'm going to go ahead and leave you. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. Y'all have a good one. Bye!